So, what do you think the topic for today should be?
I think it's time, bro.
Not economics.
Economics.
Dude, we gotta get pumped up for economics. I say we do an economics chant.
All right.
Okay?
Economics. When I say hi, you say yak. Hi.
Yeah!
Hi.
Yeah! When I say Austrian, you say economics. Austrian! What?
I can't.
Why? What? Is something wrong with Austrian economics?
Well, no. It's just the metering's way off, dude.
Okay, well, you come up with something then.
All right. Liberty and justice.
Maximum effort!
Optimal buoyancy.
What?
Don't judge, bro.
Ah! Damn it. Hey everyone, and welcome to my tube. My name is Steve,
I'm Chris.
and this is our weekly episode. Just so everybody knows, there is going to be a new segment at the end of this episode, and it's going to be my question. And basically, it's a video question. Somebody's going to ask a question, and we're going to answer it to the best of our ability. Hopefully, the picture of the person is right here, and if not, be right here. Here. And that this girl here will be asking the question and we'll answer it. So today's topic, as people now know, and since you're over your concussion, is
Mostly.
is economics. And what do you think about libertarian economics? What's your take on that?
Pretty much hands-off approach is libertarian economics as far as the government getting involved.
Free markets, basically, and that should be sidebar here. What we have aren't free markets, folks. We don't have capitalism. We have government-controlled markets with slightly freedom, I guess.
Yeah, we've been at least a little bit centrally planned since 1913.
Yeah, and the regulations have gotten more and more and more control over how businesses run their own business, which is something libertarians want to see less of. We want more freedom for people to start businesses and open their own businesses and control their own money and the flow of goods from one person to another.
A lot of the problem you have too with regulatory agencies is a lot of these regulations are being written by lobbyists from the corporations. They are trying deliberately to make it so expensive to even open a business that, well, people like you and me just can't compete.
No, we'd have to get the capital we'd have to get to start a business is insane due to all the different regulations. You have to have zoning and the EPA and tons of government bureaucrats in your business before you even start the business.
I'm Italian. I know what a protection racket looks like.
That was what led to that actual crash of the 1930s, was this fake fiat currency that kept bolstering the Dow. I don't know if the Dow was it the Dow back then? I would assume so, right?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay, well the stock market, I'm pretty sure it's the Dow, and that when that crashed, people wanted to take their money out of the bank so that they could say, hey, here's my money, but that's not how the system worked anymore, and people didn't understand that, and they made a run on the bank, and
I've
which
heard
crashed the economy
described
more.
as an upside-down pyramid. This small part here, this is the actual money you have, and then as far as lending and credit and all that stuff, you're building up, and it gets wider as it goes up, but your base is teetering the whole time. That's
a really good way to put it.
It's an inherently unstable system, and that's what our system is entirely based on. It's just a matter of time until we either get smart or get broke.
The crash of the 1930s is a real good example of what just happened in 2008, just recently, and what could potentially, or not could, but will happen again, is the overinflation of the market, people investing money that they don't have. Like when you go to the bank and you get a loan from the bank, you don't get the actual money from the bank. It's fake money. It's play money. It's digits. It's ones and zeros now. It's not actual cash. I'd say it's Keynesian economics to an extent, and that we saw Keynesian economics.
He had the biggest effect of any economist over the 20th century, and not in a good way.
Yeah, we saw that used to big effect in 2008 and 2007 and 2008, or 2008 and 2009. Whenever, with all the different bailouts that happened. That was the idea of Keynesian economics, the government.
The idea that you could just keep printing more currency and it would all be all right.
Yeah, the government can print whatever it wants of this fake fiat currency and hand it out to businesses, hand it out to corporations and whatnot, and there's no side effect. But the side effect is the devaluation of the dollar.
And if it's not based on a commodity, then it's based purely on people's trust and usage of said currency. You want to tell me that it's a coincidence that right off of going off the gold standard, Nixon's talking to the Saudis about selling their barrels of oil in just American dollars. Yeah, as far as the old narrative goes, I would liken it to, since you did your little analogy last time, I've got one.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Here's how the statist narrative goes concerning anti-monopoly and antitrust laws. Right, I come to your house, grab a baseball bat, and I break out your windows. Then, years later, if it pleases me, I'm going to come back and repair those windows, shoddily, mind you. And then, the entire time I'm doing it, I'm inviting the press to fawn over me, and I'm telling your children that you wouldn't have windows if not for me.
It's true.
And the children pretty much bought it.
Yep. That's Keynesian Economics 101 right there. I think a lot of people actually came to the Libertarian Party because of the bailouts. That was one of the big things for me, was I saw President Bush do the bailouts, and mind you, I used to be a Republican, so I thought, yay, we got to bail out those banks, they're too big to fail. And then, here comes in Barack Obama doing his change thing. And I thought, okay, well, let's see what his change is. What's his idea for the economy? Oh, bailouts. Interesting. Why is he doing the same thing Bush did when they're completely different parties, and do you think they would have different economic views?
And that, to me, just shows you how much the banks have, despite all the idealist rhetoric, the second they get elected, they're just grabbed by the balls.
Yep. And it's
I just messed up our G rating.
No, well, is it PG now?
I guess it's PG now.
I do feel that economics is a big, huge subject, and we're just these videos aren't gonna and teach you everything about economics, because neither one of us knows everything about economics.
That's a study of a lifetime.
Yeah, and this is just basically how libertarians see economics for the most part. So I think one of the other things we should touch on, once I talked about the Republicans and Democrats, is trickle down and trickle up economics. Trickle down economics is the idea that you cut taxes on the rich, they have more money, they invest their money, and that trickles down to the poor people, poorer people. Trickle up economics is you tax the rich and give the money to the poor, right? And then the poor spend it, therefore pushing everything up. We've tried both, but I don't
think either one delivers on its promises.
No, I don't. I think the best economic policy is just for the government to step back. A lot of Democrats like to bash trickle-down economics when their president, Obama, has been doing trickle-down economics pretty much since he's been in the presidency. And a lot of you guys might not know what that is, but it's quantitative easing. And the idea is the Federal Reserve uses fake money, again, to buy government bonds, therefore propping up the rich and the businesses and the corporations, and that's going to trickle down to the economy. They've been doing that. I don't know if they still are doing quantitative easing because they stopped talking about it in the news. But the last time I heard, they had talked about easing off of it a little bit, and the stock market went. So that tells you the power the Federal Reserve has for economics. That's also part of Keynesian economics is the bust and burst. They want those bubbles.
Yeah, people treat this like the boom and bust thing is an inevitability. It wasn't before 1913 or so.
You had small ones.
Yeah, you had your rises and you had your rises and your dips, but as overall on an upward trajectory, you didn't have these devastating lows after a false high like we do now.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to have them about every 10 years or so. So we're kind of due one here in the next couple of years. So you guys hear that first? I called it. A couple of years, we're going to have another bust. You can find us at the Rock County Libertarian Party on Facebook, RCLP.
Meeting coming up this Friday.
Yes, this Friday, which would be this. They could be watching this like a month from now, dude. So that would be the 24th? No, 26th. 26th, August 26th, 2016. At Denny's on Highway 26 in Janesville, Wisconsin.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Love to see you there.
That was kind of about perfect.
Are you going to get up, or you want
to... rock, paper, scissors? 2, 3, shoot.
I never lose rock, paper, scissors. I never lose. Alright, welcome to my question. We're in the inner sanctum, and this is where we'll be answering the questions from now on. And our first question is brought to you by...
The inaugural question of the week comes from the lovely and talented Jessica Baird.
Talented?
Mm-hmm. She's the premier potato memer in the whole world,
Wow.
in addition to being able to make her own Play-Doh, which is what it takes to get my respect.
Alright, there you go. Here it is.
What on the libertarian agenda do you think needs to be accomplished first because it's more urgent, and why?
Well, that's a good question, Jessica. I'm thinking gut reaction is the Federal Reserve. Let's audit it. Let's get rid of it. It's something we can do. Let's do this.
And for me, I'm going to say let's get rid of all victimless crimes. If what you want to do is not hurting another human being, you should not be able to be jailed or fined for it.
I agree.
Period.
All right, there you go. Have a nice night.